I was now walking in a forest in another realm. Elm Ra had some of the shiny pebbles in her hand, and she was shuffling them around as we walked. I could even hear and feel the crack of fallen wood from the trees beneath our feet as we continued on. The air here was so fresh, and there was a real sense of the moss and dampness. Every now and then, the light of a sun reached down into this space like a strong shard which was almost dense. That's when I started to realise that light had mass. It wasn't just hanging in the air like a flimsy scarf. It was actually a thing, just like the trees around me. Elm Ra had said nothing. It reminded me of another time in 2015. For 3 whole Earth days in another place with Yeshua, and he never spoke either. My mind almost pulled some horrible dark creatures into that space, and they began to crawl up the steps of the temple we were in. It took quite a while before I had the realization that they were not to enter that space, and accept the fact they did not belong and let them go. Then and only then did I receive the 3 drops of sacred water in my crown. And then I shifted to my 7-year-old self, who was lying on the floor drawing a tree, and he sat beside me smiling as he watched. And now here I am, walking amongst these trees, but this is a different realm, teeming with life and light, more than I've ever seen before. There's no path here, and I began to wonder where we're going. Elm Ra looked very happy. She definitely belonged in this realm. I wondered if this was the start of things to come as a multidimensional being, that I can be in many places or realms at once. I also got the sense that she was waiting for me to change in some way. I was still very emotional about my grandson. My eyes looked quite black from all the crying, and my body had already told me that a lot of grief was releasing. Maybe that was something she was going to help me with. Grief runs deep within me, and the feeling of loss is so painful. And looking back on my life, I discover how it has been managed. I become hypersensitive and on high alert when sense the energy of blame. Continuing to walk deeper into this glade, more and more of these emotions came from deep within to the point of heartbreak. This is what I've been managing. I've had my heart broken several times in this lifetime alone, and I try to avoid it, but I can see this energy of grief which has been its source, and it needs to be acknowledged and released. We come to a stop, and before me is a rocky surface. I feel the energy shift within the surface, and there is an opening. I know that I must go in. There's a breath coming from inside the rocks here, and these rocks are much lighter than the ones I know. They've got air in them, and I can feel them breathing. I'm remembering that everything is alive and full of light. I look at Elm Ra. She's still shuffling the shiny pebbles in her hand. She's got one foot up on the rocky surface, and she waits patiently. I know she's a guide because she doesn't tell me to do anything. She's just accompanying me on my journey. And I feel a deep comfort and also gratitude because she's shown up for me. I'm starting to realise that I'm not alone, and I never was. I just lost connection for a while, and now through this painful, heartbreaking incident, I found my way. I take a deep breath and I step into the entrance of the cave.